Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into a character who's, well, really evolved quite a bit, even inside a franchise we all know and love. We're focusing on April O'Neil, specifically looking at her in TMNT Mutant Mayhem and then how that continues in the Tales of the TMNT series. Now, if you've been following the Turtles for a while, you know April's history is pretty varied. She started way back in the Mirage comics as like a computer programmer.
Right, not the reporter initially.
Exactly. Then came the super iconic 87 cartoon version, yellow jumpsuit and all, the reporter we often think of first. But through it all, she's pretty much always been the Turtles' main human link.
Her connection to the surface world, yeah.
So our mission today, let's unpack this really fresh, modern take on April. What makes this version in Mutant Mayhem and Tales click so well right now? Okay, let's kick off with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mutant Mayhem. This film really did shake things up for April, and the biggest, most obvious change right away.
She's a teenager, high school student.
Yeah.
High schooler. So thinking about her classic adult journalist role, what's the impact of making her, that age?
Oh, it's huge. And Ayo Edebiri's voice performance just nails it. It's not just making her younger. It feels like a deliberate choice to really dig into her insecurities, her anxiety. That awkwardness makes her immediately relatable. It kind of shifts her from just being the Turtles' helper to someone with her own story, her own vulnerabilities that mirror what maybe the audience feels too.
Totally. And she wants to be a journalist, right? Her big dream is breaking a story for the school paper.
Yeah.
But she's got this massive hurdle, camera shyness, which I got to say, the movie shows hilariously with that whole April puke incident.
Oh, God, yeah. During the school announcements.
You can almost feel the secondhand embarrassment, can't you? It's such a smart, fast way to get us invested in her and give her this really strong reason to want to prove herself, lose that awful nickname. It works so well. It's funny, sure, but it visually slams home her internal struggle right from the start. And that personal journey with anxiety, I think, makes her incredibly empathetic.
Right.
We've all had those moments, feeling awkward or totally embarrassed.
Right.
So seeing April deal with that, plus, giant talking turtles, it just grounds her. She's not just there for plot. She's got her own arc about overcoming that self-doubt.
And her dynamic with the Turtles themselves is also really key here. She's their first real human friend.
The very first one who sees past the mutant part.
Yeah, they've been hiding out, just desperate for acceptance, and April's the one who actually sees them. It really puts her in a unique spot, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. She basically becomes their window into how human society works. Pop culture, norms, just everything. And this connects so well to the movie's big theme about acceptance and belonging. April wants acceptance at school. The Turtles want acceptance from humans. Their journeys kind of run in parallel. And
it's interesting how her own goal, that journalistic drive, it isn't just flavor text. It actually drives the plot forward.
Definitely. She uses those budding investigative skills to figure out what Superfly is up to.
Right. And then the climax. Here's where it gets really good. She uses her platform, the news broadcast, overcomes that camera fear in the middle of a crisis.
Big moment for her.
Huge. And broadcasts the truth about the Turtles, flips public opinion, and basically saves the day. It's such a payoff for her character arc. Shows her growth, her agency.
And we should probably touch on the character design, too. In Mutant Mayhem, April's a black teenager. That definitely got people talking.
It did.
And it's worth remembering, co-creator Kevin Eastman has actually said the original April was based on his girlfriend at the time, April Fisher, who was mixed race.
Ah, interesting context.
Yeah, so while the 87 cartoon cemented the redhead image for a lot of people, we've seen different takes since then. Rise of the TMNT also featured a black April. So the takeaway really is, regardless of the visual design, the core of April, her smarts, her loyalty, being that bridge to the Turtles, that stays consistent. That's what makes her April.
Okay, so building on Mutant Mayhem, let's talk about Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the series that follows up. April's still right there with them, their trusted human pal. How does her role shift or evolve in the show?
Well, in Tales, you see her step even more into almost like a big sister role. Maybe even slightly maternal sometimes for the Turtles. It feels like a natural step from where Mutant Mayhem left off.
A big sister role, huh? That makes sense.
Yeah.
So the Turtles are still figuring out how to exist as mutants in a human world.
Exactly. And April's often their go-to, their sounding board.
Even with everyday stuff, human problems.
Yeah, that, but also emotional support and even strategic advice sometimes, because she gets human society in a way, Splinter, focused on ninja training, Might not. She's really part of their, like, chosen family, but offering a different kind of support.
And it seems like she gets more involved in the action, too. Mutant Mayhem was maybe more about her overcoming anxiety and using her reporter skills.
Right.
But Tails seems to show her jumping right into the fights, battling robots and other mutants with the team.
Yeah, definitely. And that evolution's pretty significant. She's not just the brains or the reporter hanging back anymore. She's an active participant. She's capable, she's brave, she's ready to defend her friends and herself. It shows real growth. She's found her footing within their weird little family.
But her journalism dreams are still there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's still core to her, but now it's layered with this sort of street-level heroism alongside the Turtles.
It ties back nicely.
It really does. Her arc in Tales just keeps reinforcing those themes of family and acceptance from the movie. The Turtles were trying to find their place, and April is so crucial in helping them do that, while also finding her own voice and identity in the process. She's the bridge.
So, looking at the whole picture then, she goes from this camera-shy high school kid trying to find her voice to this really confident, compassionate, and frankly, pretty badass ally in both Mutant Mayhem and Tales. It's quite a journey.
It really is. And this kind of rich, layered portrayal, it just shows how adaptable these characters are, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It proves you can reimagine them for today's audience.
Yeah.
Bring in new perspectives, new challenges, but still keep that fundamental heart and spirit that fans have connected with for, like, decades.
That balance of old and new.
Exactly. Honoring the legacy while moving it forward.
So, wrapping this up, maybe something for you listening to think about. How does that consistent core of April, her intelligence, her loyalty, being that human connection, allow her to change so much across different versions?
Good question.
And maybe what does that suggest about how we find our own place, our own voice when the world around us keeps changing? Anyway, we hope this deep dive got you thinking and maybe encourages you to keep digging into the stories that grab you.